So in this series of videos, we are going to create a .NET MVC Entity Framework .NET Framework based website. Let me explain what all those words mean. MVC is a design style called Model View Controller. We'll get into it a little bit more deeply, but the idea is that when you call a web page, let's say it's URL/something, that something that you call will be the controller. Then /something else, that'll be the action you are calling on the controller. It's the function you are trying to call on the controller. And then /something else will be the parameters you are trying to send, or question mark, something ID equals something. Those are the parameters you are trying to send to the function on the controller. So that's the controller. Models are things you are going to display on the page. In the example that we're going to give now, we're doing a phone book application. The phone book application has people, persons with phone numbers, email addresses, and addresses. All of those things, email addresses, addresses, phone numbers, and people, all of those things would be something I would want to display on a page, one or many of them on a page. Those would be the models that I am trying to display. The view is how I am showing it. That's the actual web page I'm looking at. In other words, the view is a view of the model that was given to you by the controller to show. It's a design style that takes a little bit getting used to. So the next thing I'll explain is .NET Framework. .NET Framework is one of the frameworks that ASP.NET pages can run on. It's the only one ASP.NET pages can run on. But in Visual Studio, it is one kind of thing that you can create. You can create .NET Core, which is a completely different thing that builds code to run, for example, and they all have a little bit different design styles. So you can do MVC in .NET Core, but mostly in .NET Core, you're just doing .NET Core pages. You can do non-MVC pages in .NET Framework. They're called web forms. You know, you can do a lot of different things. This is the most common way of making pages, and we'll do a whole series on .NET web forms as well. Anyway, so that's the .NET Framework. Now, Entity Framework is the way that .NET abstracts the database into objects inside of .NET. You don't have to be smart about how to write things and read things from databases. It takes care of all of it for you, and you just do things like save changes, and it'll write all the stuff to the database. It'll update things where they need to be updated. It'll delete things where they need to be deleted. It keeps track of the objects in what's called a context. It's like a state context that you can update objects in, and then you say save changes, and it saves changes. So that is what we are going to be working on in this project. So I will take a pause here, and then I will kick off the next video with how to create a .NET Framework MVC project.